What's up guys, Umcast back with a new video. Oh my god guys, I've just been to watch Superman. Oh my god, this is going to be incredible, this video. This film is something really special and it gives me hope for DC. Like, I really like the direction that James Gunn is taking this film and the future of the DCU and where DC Studios is going in general. I am really enjoying where we're going, and this film was probably one of my favourite films I've seen. This is probably in my top 3 films that have come out this year, to be honest, and that's saying something. To be honest, like, this film was absolutely amazing and an incredible journey. Like, it felt like a lifetime ago when this movie was first announced and when the DCU was first announced, basically, but we're finally here. The journey's finally started. Obviously, this is like the proper beginning for the DCU on like the big screen. I know it already started with Creature Commandos, but this is like the proper beginning of the DCU on the big screen now. And I honestly think this film is going to be successful, to be honest. Like, the reviews and the reactions are great from both critics and the audience, it seems. And I don't know what to say with like box office going to be like yet, because obviously I can't predict that, but I do think this film will do well, to be honest. And I do think it sets up a bright future for this franchise, and potential Superman sequels in the future, and like the whole like DCU in general, and that is why I'm very excited. But yeah, overall my non-spoiler quick thoughts are that this film was just a blast. I had so much fun with it. There was so much emotions in this story as well. Like, there was some stuff that really got to me in this film, and I didn't think it was going to get me, to be honest. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm just glad to see like a bright, happy Superman again. I'm happy to see Superman on the big screen again, in general, because it has been too long since he's had his own film. Which obviously we had like Man of Steel, but obviously we like that sort of tone of Superman was a lot darker. I do like that film, obviously, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of glad we've got the lighter tone Superman back now, after having a more sort of darker Superman on the big screen in the past, because that's what Superman is. So, but yeah. And a lot of stuff that are in the trailer, I wouldn't really say gives away too much in the film, to be honest. There's like a couple things in the trailer that you could probably predict where it's going, but I wouldn't say it's easy. Like, there was some stuff in the trailer I thought, oh, that's got to be this and that, but it actually wasn't. I was like, okay, I like where this is going. But yeah, James Gunn, he's done an incredible job with this film. The story was so good. Like, the writing felt so, like, great, honestly. The cast was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, the cast was absolutely amazing, to be honest. I want to get into that soon, later in the video, but yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film, guys. But yeah, this is like my non-spoiler section of the video now. So if you're still here, I am now about to talk about spoilers. So yeah, maybe go watch Superman if you haven't seen it yet, and then come back to this section. Okay? Right, that's your last chance, so spoiler warning. Right. Okay, guys. So the actual plot. Let's get into the plot of the movie. So the plot is basically starts off with like this really interesting intro. I find really interesting. It's like a sort of like we get this like opening like crawl sort of thing, kind of like what you would see in like Star Wars, basically, on their like openings on their movies. So it basically gives us some information about this new world, this new DCU that we're living in, basically. That metahumans have been around for 300 years, apparently. And we basically get some information about how long Superman's been around for on Earth. And he's been Superman for like about 3 years, so this is year 3 for him, basically. And it basically starts off with him losing his first fight, basically, to somebody called the Hammer of Baravia, basically. So yeah, he basically loses his fight to this Hammer Baravia, which we do see later on, because Superman went to Baravia, I believe, and this other country that are basically about to go to war with each other. I believe it was called like Jaropal or something, Jaropal or something like that. Two fictional like countries, basically, that have been made for this film. I'm not sure if they're from the comics. You guys can let me know if they are. But yeah, we basically find out that Superman went there to stop this war, basically, from brewing. And later on in the film, we do find out that the president of Baravia is working with Lex Luthor and wants to invade that country and then give part of that country to Luthor to rule, basically, and rename it as like Luthoria, basically. So it still seems that Lex is still interested in the real estate game after all these years, but yeah, businessman's got to do what a businessman does. But yeah, so yeah, we see the Hammer Baravia as well. Superman gets rescued by Krypto because he obviously crashes in like the Arctic, and Krypto has to take him back to the fortress. And then we obviously see like these Kryptonian robots, which are inspired from All Star Superman, which is really, this film is like heavily inspired from that comic run, All Star Superman, which is absolutely perfect, and that's how James Gunn and the actors in that have described this film, basically, like the main inspiration. But yeah, we see Krypto taken back. He gets healed back up using Yellow Sun, and we see the robots called like 4 and 12. And then, spoiler alert, I think some of the robots at the fortress, so we know that 4 is voiced by Alan Tudyk. I believe 12 might be Jennifer Holland, which is James Gunn's wife. And then we also had Michael Rooker as one of the robots as well. And I'm trying to think, it's like Palm. Oh, what's that's the last name? The bird that plays Mantis, basically. It will come back to me. It will come back to me. But yeah, I think James Gunn did also confirm that they are playing robots. So we got some Guardians and characters crossing over into this as well, which is really cool. And talking of Guardian characters, guys. So yeah, talking of Guardian characters, we do get another major Guardian cameo in this as well. But while I'm looking at that, I've just looked up that it was Pom. I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but Pom Kletermith, who plays Mantis, is one of the robots, basically. I don't know if that's how you say it. I probably butchered it, but yeah, guys. But yeah, anyway, going back to another Guardian member, we've got Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El. Oh my god. That is something I have not seen rumoured or leaked. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. Um, yeah. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Bradley Cooper as Jor-El. That is something I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, we got that, and I couldn't believe it. We do get some interesting stuff with that in later on, but let's talk about Laurel, who plays her. So yeah, uh, Angela Sarafine, I think that's how you say it, is playing Lara. Yeah, I think that's really good casting for Jor-El and Lara, to be honest. I really like these two actors. But yeah, I wouldn't have expected them to play them. But yeah, that was a really cool cameos, I must admit. I really did like those sort of cameos we got of our Kryptonian parents for Superman. But yeah, and yeah, we have like this message that he listens to make himself more comfortable, to put him at ease, but that half the message was damaged apparently when Krypton blew up and to damage in his pod, basically, it seems. So yeah, we'll have to see what the message says later in the film, because we do get it revealed, because the engineer later on, spoiler alert, Lex, Ultraman and Eve Tessmacher later on in the film do break into the fortress while the robots are there in crypto. They have a bit of a fight, and then Lex has the engineer decrypt that message, basically to incriminate Superman, so the US government can give him permission basically to kill him. Yeah. So there's a whole thing later on in the film so we can frame Superman, basically. But yeah. But yeah. So yeah, this message basically comes out. They decrypt the rest of the message, and it's basically like, it seems that I kind of like the boldness that James Gunn took here. That the Kryptonians in this universe might have been like a conquering race, and it was basically saying you should rule over mankind and that, basically, as they're like simple people. But obviously Cal doesn't want to obviously do that because he's his own man, and he's more human because obviously he was raised by Ma and Pa Kent. But yeah, that was something the world wasn't really happy about when they saw that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we do get Jor-El and Lara back in like a potential Superman sequel. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we will just have to wait and see what happens with that. It might. I reckon James Gunn might want to use Bradley Cooper again for Jor-El, definitely. Where's I don't know. Be interesting to see where that could go though. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah. Mankind do not like that. Right, so yeah, basically, while Lex and that obviously broke into the fortress, they did take crypto, and we find out Lex has got like his own pocket dimension he's built, apparently. Yeah, he's trapped like a bunch of people down there as well, including, like, spoiler alert, Metamorpho, who does become like an ally later in the film, but does sort of become like a sort of villain at the beginning, but he becomes an ally in the end. But yeah. And then obviously later in the film we do have like Lois and that trying to find out what's going on with the Daily Planet team and that, which is all good. I really like the dynamic with the interview scene with Lois and Clark. That was really cool. That was earlier in the film. You've also got the dynamics between the different Daily Planet team, like Steve, Kat, Jimmy, and that. I want to see more of the Daily Planet team in like potential sequel in the future. Maybe we can get more Daily Planet reporter stuff in the future. That would be really cool. So hopefully we get that. And then we also do, but like this kaiju fight basically, while to distract Superman when the whole fortress thing went down, and he does have help from the Justice Gang, as they're being called at the moment. Not a league or society, a Justice Gang, which is just a working title. But yeah, which consists of Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Hawk Girl. And I really do like the Justice Gang in this film. They are really cool characters. Mr. Terrific was definitely a highlight for me, I must admit. He was definitely a highlight. I really hope we get like a spin-off project with Mr. Terrific in the future, like maybe a Terrifics film or series or something. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. You've got Guy Gardner as a Green Lantern as well in this film, and he is just a massive a-hole like he is in the comics. Yeah, he just like pure Guy Gardner basically, and I really enjoyed it. The Green Lantern constructs that he does, it was so cool as well. It was so cool seeing the constructs come to life. And then we've also got Hawk Girl as well, which is really cool. We didn't really get much of her in this film. Like, I kind of wish we saw more stuff with her, but there's always more opportunities to see her in the future. So I'm hoping we do get more of her in the future. But yeah. But the Justice Gang, they're basically like corporate owned superheroes basically, which we do find out is being run by Maxwell Lord, who does have like a brief small cameo at the end of the film on like a monitor on the TV being interviewed basically after like Superman and that and the heroes do defeat Mr. Lex, sorry. But yeah, he has a brief cameo. But I do wonder from the actions of Superman in this film, because they do kind of go rogue at the end, because it seems like if you're corporate like superheroes, you're being told what to do and that, it seems, because we do see Mr. Terrific obviously go rogue to help Lois to find Superman and that basically. So I do wonder in the future maybe they'll kind of go rogue and not want to be part of a corporate system anymore basically, and not work for that kind of situation, because even the government, US government at the end of the film is just like, now this planet is theirs, we don't control them, they now control us, they will do whatever they want now, as we do see the heroes obviously go help save Metropolis and the citizens of Jaratal and stop the war between those two countries and that basically. So yeah, because we do see General Flag with the other US officials discussing us. But yeah, we'll have to see where that goes obviously in the future, but yeah. We also do have the pocket dimension. Let's just go back to that when Superman and Crypto Metamorpho are locked in that pocket dimension with all those other people. We do have Baby Joey, which is Metamorpho's child, basically. And we do see at the end of the film that Metamorpho does join the fight against Lex, basically, and assists the Justice Gang in stopping that war, basically. And he quite likes the name of the Justice Gang, and I think Guy Gardner says that, yep, you can join. So yeah, we might get Metamorpho on the lineup for that, basically, in the future. But yeah, and we do see Metamorpho with someone like a girlfriend or wife. Now, if you know Metamorpho in the comics, he does date the daughter of Simon Stagg, I believe, and I remember this from the Justice League cartoon. And I believe that is meant to be her, basically, because I believe they have a child together. But yeah, it's interesting because I wonder if we'll get that backstory in the future of the DCU. We'll just have to wait and see if we do. But yeah, that was cool. And then we do obviously see Hawk Girl. She does confront the president of Brevia as well, who is obviously working with Lex. But yeah, he might have died. Spoiler alert, because she's just like, I'm not Superman. So yeah, because she basically drops him while mid-flight. So we don't really know if he's dead because the way the shot just cuts and changes to the next scene, basically, which is very interesting. But yeah. Yeah, so that was interesting. But yeah. We also got the Engineer and Ultraman I want to talk about. The Engineer is a really interesting character. This is a character I don't really know much about besides her being a member of the Authority in the comics. And there is an Authority project in the works. We do know that, so we don't know when it's coming, but it is obviously in development. But she was really cool in this film. She was a villain, obviously, but she is a bit of an anti-hero villain in the comics. So she'll probably be an anti-hero the next time we see her, because there is like some doubt in her we do see in the film. But yeah, it's very interesting. And she does get knocked out by the end of the film by Superman. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. But yeah, and then we've also got Ultraman, who a lot of people were suspecting of who he could be, basically, because he was just a random masked like figure, basically like Goon working for Lex. And it's very different from the Ultraman in the comics, because obviously we know Ultraman is like a member or the leader of the crime syndicate in the comics, which in this film is obviously they've taken that name and done something different with it. So we do get the reveal of who's under the mask, basically, of Ultraman, because I did see theories of it maybe being like Bizarro or like Parasite or something, maybe. But we do get the reveal that it is actually a clone of Superman. So Lex actually had the DNA of Superman and actually cloned him, but Luthor Corp and Lex were controlling him, because he was obviously in that suit of armor with the Hammer Bravia as well. And honestly, it was mental, because apparently he was literally like Superman, but obviously so much, as Lex put, dumber and inferior, basically. So yeah, and they do have the massive fight down in the pocket dimension. We do see Superman defeat him by throwing a truck into him, and he gets pulled into the black hole in the pocket dimension. And that's basically it for Ultraman. I do have a theory how maybe they could bring him back, because obviously Lex referred to him as being dumb. It does seem like, because of referring to that, it does kind of hint at a like Bizarro kind of storyline, the way he said that. And obviously he could go like in the future, in the sequel, maybe we could go like full Bizarro in that, like with the whole Bizarro world and that, maybe in the black hole led him to another Earthal dimension, basically, in reality. And we could get the Bizarro world, maybe. So maybe he does come back, Ultraman does come back in the future, and he becomes like Bizarro, maybe. Or maybe he goes to like, I don't know, Earth 2, maybe. And he does actually become the Ultraman that we know, who becomes the leader of the crime syndicate. Like, maybe the first Justice League movie we get in this new DCU or whatever, the crime syndicate are the main villains, maybe. Who knows? I would like that. Or like the Bizarro theory. I think the Bizarro theory is probably more reliable, to be honest. I think that's more concrete. But yeah, I don't know. We will have to see. But yeah, that was basically it for the Engineer and Ultraman. But yeah, I really enjoyed them, to be honest. But yeah, that's those two characters. Right, we got Jonathan and Ma Kent. Now, these two were absolute standouts. I really liked the scene between Clark and Jonathan. That was really like emotional, I must admit. It was really nice, and it did bring a smile to my face. Just I'm just glad they didn't kill Jonathan off. That's something I am glad about, because I think we've had enough of that in past versions. But yeah, the scenes with Martha Kent and Jonathan Kent between Clark were amazing. Even when Lois went to the Kent farm, that was really good. But yeah, they were a proper standout, I must admit. Proper standout. I really enjoyed those scenes, I must admit. So yeah, guys, the only other thing I want to talk about is the ending of the film now. So at the end, we obviously have Superman, Mr. Terrific, the Daily Planet team, Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl save the day by saving Metropolis and stopping that war, basically. So yeah, they stop Lex, and then Lex does get arrested at the end of the film, and we do hear one of the soldiers say that he's being taken to Belle Reve prison, which obviously we know that's where a lot of villains are kept, basically, in the DC universe. We know that members of the Suicide Squad at Task Force X and the Creature Commandos are there. So is he gonna run into those villains, maybe? Or is he gonna run into, obviously, like other Argus members and like General Rick Flag and maybe Amanda Waller, maybe? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I do think that Lex is going to have a big presence in this new DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, as we do know that title is like the name of the Chapter 1, and it is used in the opening crawl as well, that name. So when they're talking about like metahumans and that, because the US government are now saying now this world belongs to, obviously, the metahumans are now in control, basically, and they'll do whatever they want now, which means they'll probably be less like corporate now, these heroes, in the future, maybe. But yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. And we do get Superman and Krypto at the end as well, back at the fortress. And we do find out earlier in the film that Krypto isn't actually Superman's dog. It's like a sort of foster situation. And we do see at the end of the film that someone does arrive at the fortress, and that is none other than Millie Alcock's Supergirl coming to collect her dog, which is Krypto belongs to Supergirl, Kara Danvers, or Kara Zor-El. So yeah, that was really cool seeing her appear at the end, and she obviously was a bit PI'd, as some would say. She's obviously been drinking, like party girl. I kind of like the vibe of it, because it does set up the one of the next films coming out next year, which is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, as Superman does reference to robot number 4, which now he is now named himself Gary, we do learn, after he's been repaired. As they are talking about that she likes to go to planets or intergalactic bars with like red sun, basically, so she can get drunk, because obviously with a yellow sun on Earth, it seems that Superman or Supergirl can't get drunk. So yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, it was just fun seeing her, and that was kind of like a fun reference to like the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic book, and probably the film that's coming out next year, which I can't wait for. That is probably going to be something special, that film next year, because we do know we're getting like Supergirl, Krem, Lobo, and now it basically confirmed Krypto is going to be in that film, because he is a big part in the comic book. But yeah, other than that, we do have 2 post-credit scenes as well. They're not really anything you really need to stay for, really, but they're just like little fun, like, scenes, I guess. But yeah, the first one is basically of Superman and Krypto sitting on the moon, which was basically a bit of marketing, which was released like months ago now, I believe. So we already saw this post-credit scene ages ago, which was quite funny. But the second post-credit scene was just a scene between Superman and Mr. Terrific, where Superman's kind of like being a jack, I guess, for saying, "Oh, you can get this building back precisely with this crack in the building or whatever," from where obviously the other like dimension, the paradox thing that Lex had done damage to the city, and Mr. Terrific was just like, "What do you want? Do you want to rent the city?" "Oh, I'm sorry, that is not perfect." It was quite a funny scene, but yeah. Other than that, that is basically the post-credit scenes. But yeah, that is pretty much like the main sort of plot we've gone through in this video. Like, my thoughts on these characters, oh my god, I really love the dynamic between Clark and Lois, the relationship there, and even the relationship with like Clark and Krypto was really fun as well. I really liked that as well, like where he loves the dog but he hates the dog at the same time. That is just something really special. And even the relationship with like Ma and Pa Kent, and then we get obviously the dynamic as well with the Justice Gang heroes, with Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl, and even the Daily Planet team as well. It's fun seeing that. Really enjoyed it. And even Lex Luthor and the villains like Ultraman and the Engineer in that was so good. I really loved the performances in this film, and this, you could tell this film was made with a lot of heart and spirit. But yeah, overall, I will give this film a 5 out of 5. Like, this is probably one of my top 3 favourite films this year. It's probably number 2 for me, I'll probably say. But yeah, this is really something special, and this is definitely the start that the new DCU needed. This is a great start for it, and I can't wait for future projects. We've obviously got Peacemaker coming. We've got Lanterns and Supergirl next year, and the Clayface movie. And we've got other projects later down the line, like the Batman the Brave and the Bold movie. Eventually we'll get like other projects like Swamp Thing and Booster Gold. But yeah, and recently it was confirmed that a Wonder Woman film is in development. But yeah, I'm excited for the DCU, and I cannot wait for the future. And this film is so good, like I cannot talk about it anymore because I'm running out of words. But yeah, I definitely recommend this film so much. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for me. So yeah, I want to know what you guys think of Superman. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Or whatever. Let me know your thoughts down below. And subscribe to the channel as well, and stay tuned for more videos like this and DC content. But yeah, guys, leave a like down below, and I will see you in the next one.